I remember seeing my very first magic show. My mind was filled with all sorts of questions like, how did he do that? And where did that ball go? I'm sure my mind won't be the only one asking questions when our next act performs. Tomas Medina is an expert at magic because he's a magician. Is it real? Is it magic? Those are just two of the questions you should be ready to ask. But don't expect any answers. This isn't a science show. Enjoy the magic of Tomas Medina.
Hi, I'm Tomas. I kind of have a long name. I'm Tomas Donzuelo San Miguel de Agosto Martinez Garcia Pamplona Medina, but for short, people call me T. And that's my name. My father is Hispanic, and my mom is Rick Moranis. And I'm a magician. That's what I do. Today I will stun the teeming masses with a magic trick featuring a hat, my old hat, and then some dice. Now, if you have one, it's called a die. But if you have more than one, it's called dice. But my mom, she would always say, never say die. So I use dice. And let's get started. Magically, mysteriously, and pretty darn entertainingly, it disappears and goes underneath the hat. Now, a lot of people ask me to do that trick twice, so I'll save you guys the trouble of asking, and I'll do it again. Number 2. See? Not bad for a kid with glasses. Now, when I was a little guy, which I'm still kind of a little guy, but when I was younger, I would do it like this. See, I would pretend to put it in the hand, right? But it's here. And then I'd put it away, and then when they're not looking, that's when I would sneak it underneath the hat. I'd lift it up, and I'd bow to my no doubt thunderous applause. And now I've got 3. But I don't do it that way anymore. That way's kind of passé. This is how I do it now. 1, 2, 1 away. How many are here? Hold on, let me start again. One moment. 1, 2, 1 away. Yep. Big finish. 1, 2, 1 away. I say go, and they go. Now, those of you at home, if you'd like to break into discussion groups of how many dice are underneath the hat, raise your hands if you think there's 3. How about raise your hands if there's 2? Some of you are voting twice. 1? Well, nobody ever says 1. There's 1, but it's really big. You know, the funny thing, I know where this came from, and I know where this came from, but you know what, magic friends, I've got no clue on earth where something this big would come from right there. The real big one. See? I know you've been holding back all the applause. I guess now's the time. You should see the size of my board game. It's pretty big. Last year I was folding it up and putting it away. All right, for my next trick, this one has a disclaimer. So if all the kids in the audience watching would raise their right hand and repeat after me, say, I state your name, will never, ever, ever try this next trick at home because Tomas is a very, very lonely man. And the trick is with breath mints. I'm going to go put this away. I'll be right back. You guys, I'm back. Okay, so here's my trick. It's with breath mints, and this is kind of a fun fact thing. The sinuses in your face are all connected. You know, like your eyes are connected to your nose, and your nose is connected to your mouth. I really don't know, honestly, if this is magic. This could be tragic, but it's kind of a fun party trick. So you get yourself 4 Tic Tacs. You know, people think I look better without my glasses on, and then I say, you know what, you look better without my glasses on too. These are the jokes. All right, so here's the trick. I got the breath mints and the 4 Tic Tacs, and then normally I have some water, but I could use saliva because, and here's a fun fact. See, the saliva gets into the spit, it gets into the germs' eyes so they can't see where they're going, so they lunge at each other. Kills the germs. Okay, here we go. I lick the Tic Tac. There's 1 on the top of my fist. There's 3 in the hand. Now the first one, and again, don't try this at home, or at least if you do, make sure your mom and dad is not watching. Okay? Okay, there's the first one. Please hold the applause. Okay, here's the second one. Top of the hand. And then there's two here. And then this one. Now when you do this, it might be a good idea to have your buddy on the cell phone hit 9, 1, and then hover on the 1, just in case there's tragedy. There's number 2. Okay, the third one. Okay, and then there's one here. Okay, this one goes up the nose. And then the mouth. Okay, we're going to bring him back. Yay. Okay. The first one. Number 1. Yay, magic. Number 2. Let me set that down for a moment. That's long enough. Number 3. Oh, that one almost went past my heart and chest cavities and deep into my fallopian tube. I could have been a goner. Number 3 and number 4. And there you go. You guys are really nice. I really do appreciate all the kind attention. I hope you have a magical day. And if you had half as much fun as I had twice as much fun as you. I'm Tomas Medina. Bye.
Tomas, come on over.
Yes, sir.
That was great. I'd shake your hand, but it's full of wet Tic Tacs.
It's okay. I always like to reuse them for other shows.
That's great. So tell us, Tomas, when did you decide to become a magician?
I really didn't. It all happened by accident. I liked magic tricks. I learned one. I did it like a gazillion times. And then I didn't want to let people down, so I kept learning more and more. And then I met somebody who was a magician, and they said, hey, you're good. Would you like to do a show? And I'm like, you mean I get paid for this stuff? And then I just did one. I did another. So
well, that's great.
It all kind of fell in my lap.
And here you are performing on Steve Gadlin's Star Makers. Well, let me ask you, do you remember the first magic trick that you ever saw?
Yes. A guy did a trick with these little sponge balls, and I went to a magic store. It was in Chicago on Irving. No, it was on Pulaski. And I begged my parents to buy it for me, and it was like, I don't know, like $8 or something. And then when I got home, it was just sponge balls and like a sheet of directions. And so my dad said, see, you got to practice this stuff, Tom. And so then just to show him, I learned it. I practiced like a nerd, and that's the trick. I did it over and over again, and I learned it, and there you go.
Well, that's a great lesson. Practice makes perfect. Thanks so much for being on the show, Tomas. We'll be right back.